All the Janet Kuypers I know.
Oh, yeah. All the Janet Kuypers I
know. I was recently in a radio show interview on John Mac Radio, and he said, "What would you like to say for the last sentence?" And I said, "Well, actually, that is something that my husband had said. What do you want the last thing to, after you go through this long interview, what do you want it to be?" And I said, "Well, you might think you know me by what I'm reading or saying, or that I seem to be in a book with these things, but you probably do not know me at all. Because we all keep things from the world, and we only let certain things out, and so I guess you'll just have to pay more attention to me to learn more about it." So all the Janet Kuypers I know. I've got 3 poems that are from 2 different Loyola Beach readings in Chicago. I don't know what years they were, but they were from poetry series or shared poems where I wrote with somebody else. This one is called Childhood Memories 2. It's the series poem. I was in the basement, the playroom. That's where all my toys were, you see. And Sherry was with me, and we were playing house, or maybe it was office. We did that instead a lot of the times. I had old forms that businesses were throwing away, and we had 2 desks, dead calculators. My sister even made a switchboard for me. Well, we were playing grown-up boring time, whatever it was, and the specifics I don't even remember. But why were children wanting to grow up anyway? Because it's a different kind of pain, I think. Well, anyway, we were playing this make-believe, and I proceeded to go to the toy chest and pull out my sister's old communion veil and walk to her around the pool table at the center of the room. Take a step, feet together. Take a step, feet together. "And what are you doing?" she asked. "Getting married," I answered. "Chris and I are getting married," I said. Chris was a friend of my sister's, you see, an older man at high school, unlike us poor slobs who were still only children. And she attended the wedding, and I even threw the bouquet to her, and she caught it, and she was so happy, and she caught it like she was supposed to do. And then when the whole thing was all over, I walked over to my imaginary groom, and I got the corner of the room, and we put away the veil. And that's when she took the veil, put it on her head, and acted like she was getting married too. "What are you doing?" I asked. "Getting married," she answered. "To who?" I asked. "To Chris," she answered. And we argued and argued, but I just married him. You're not supposed to go and marry him. And before you know that, we're just all shouting at each other in this big shouting match. Why do we want to grow up anyway? Because we wanted a different kind of pain, I think. This is a poem I wrote with Dave, may he rest in peace. I don't know who wrote what. This is called Climbing Trees. 1. If I couldn't climb trees, I'd wish for a tree house, so I could see the world from a different view, so I could feel like I have conquered. Big trees, more fun, that's what I'd think. That's when I'd get to about the edge, the height of our roof, our garage, as a matter of fact, and then the fear would set in. Not a fear of falling from where I was, but of going higher. But what was too high? One of my coworkers decided one day that he wasn't going to try anymore, that no one cared if he did a good job, so he just wouldn't bother. And I thought, your coworker shouldn't be the scale to judge yourself on. You should be that scale. You should be trying to do well because you need to know that you can do better than what you are. And then I thought, maybe he never climbed trees. And it was in a different show, another childhood memories poem that was in a different time. This is Childhood Memories 5. I was in the 5th grade, and I had Mr. Roop for a spelling in English. He was a great teacher, but there was something I will never forget from his class. You see, he had this honors spelling team called the Tough 10, and once we had to learn the word numeral ultramicroscopic silicovolcaniosis. It's a form of black lung disease, the longest word in the English language, the second largest word in the world. I can still remember it to this day. But when giving us weekly spelling bees, he would say a word, use it in a sentence, and whenever the word doctor came up, he would say the word, then recite the lyrics, "Doctor, doctor, give me the news, I got a bad case of..." And then he'd get all embarrassed and he'd laugh and he wouldn't be able to say loving you, and we'd all laugh too and write the word down and wait for him to say the next word.